morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are right now. And welcome to this week's Weekly Energy Boost. My name is Elisheva, and I am sitting here this beautiful Monday morning with David.
Hello.
And I have some exciting news before I intro today's show. This is our 2-year anniversary. We have been, the Weekly Energy Boost has been on air for 2 years. And I want to say a special thank you to those of you, especially those of you who have been with us for the last 2 years, but all of our listeners, whether you're with us on Facebook, now we're on IGTV, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Castbox, Stitcher, and Google Play. We wouldn't be here without you. And so thank you. Happy anniversary, David, even though you've only been with us for a little bit more than a year. We were doing this for a while without David. And this is, I actually looked at this will be our 104th podcast.
It's all right.
It's two. And so on that note, first of all, I want to check in with you guys and see what are the questions we haven't answered yet. What are the topics you want to hear us discuss? What is it that you want to hear from us in the coming year in the Weekly Energy Boost? We will, not that we will just go through the list and share whatever, but we'll see how we can connect the weekly energy with what you're going through, what issues you're trying to tackle, and hopefully come up with another amazing year of inspiration, content, and empowerment.
Great.
Enlightenment.
Yeah, people can always post. We're following the comments live. Questions, comments. We'll catch it and we'll answer it for you, especially if it's on topic.
Especially if it's on topic. We do this every week. For those of you that are listening to on the podcast or to the replay, we are here every Monday morning at 10 a.m. to share with you the ancient technology and prescriptions behind navigating the coming week in the best possible way, not only for you, but for everyone around you and for the world as well. We do that by going through the wisdom of Kabbalah, which is a very specific and precise wisdom. It tells us what to expect and how to use what's coming at us to rise above our own personal limitations, challenges, blockages, so that we can become the best version of ourselves. And that's really what we talk about every week. Many times we hear people saying, oh, this is so perfect for me. It's exactly what I'm going through. It's not that we're listening through your Siri or Alexa or whatever devices you have. This has been woven into the fabric of the universe since creation, and we're simply repeating it again and again.
I got one of these things that covers the camera on the computer.
So that the government can't watch you.
You never know who's watching you. So for some of the people who are more impatient, who don't like our 7-minute intro, what can we tell them?
Zing.
Right? Which is not a bad thing, by the way. And, I want to throw this out because I'm one of those people. Whenever you start getting impatient and you're getting bothered by something that's happening and you want to kind of just get to the punchline, it usually means there's a very powerful energy coming. So you just have to be patient and not leave when you're bothered. When you're not bothered, it's a different story. But I always say this about people who come to our live classes. I share with the students, they're excited. They come to class once a week, and I tell them that class you don't want to come to, or that class that you feel like you're too tired, just hear the recording or hear it later. It means that the negative forces in this world are keeping you away. And that's probably the only class you should be coming to. That's the class that's going to reveal the greatest secrets. And I can't tell you how many times, because this is tying into what the energy of this week is, to understand the energies around us, to understand the forces, positive and negative forces around us, what we sometimes call angels, which are really just forces of energy. So people shouldn't get all spooky about it. Angels are forces of energy. We create positive forces, we create negative forces, and each force that we create has a job, so it has to manifest one job, and once it does, it dematerializes or it disappears, it no longer has a function. So, like, for example, if I say a negative word, I create a negative force. This negative force has to cause some form of destruction, pain, suffering. It could be like dropping your keys, right? It's annoying. That was from a negative force that was created by you. And once the keys are dropped, it's done its job and it moves on. So this week is all about understanding these forces, understanding how to minimize the negative ones, how to maximize the positive ones, and the types of impacts that they could be having on our lives, whether we realize it or not. So, wait. I was leading into something. Do you remember?
Not at all.
All right.
Don't know where you're going.
No. There was a place I was going, and it had to do with. Oh yes. Something that we all experience. Sometimes we get really bothered by somebody else, and you start to feel like kind of annoyed. Like sometimes that happens.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That never happens to me.
I know. This is why I sometimes feel alone on the show. So like imagine like someone just coming, like interrupting your whatever you're doing and starting to talk to you.
Right.
There's a part of you that is obviously annoyed, but there's also a part of you that feels like there's something powerful here, and we want to build. And sometimes when that happens to me and I'm just patient, obviously it is a powerful message, and something happens, and I'm really happy that I didn't just walk away from this person. So sometimes you do need to walk away from people who are trying to suck your energy also. So how do you know which one to do? And I think we all face this problem in some way, because we'll be missing opportunities if we walk away from a powerful message.
Sure.
And we could also be draining our time and energy listening to somebody who's just draining us.
Okay. Cliffhanger. I'm waiting on the edge of my seat here. What's the answer?
And the answer is just a very simple one, which is we all should start to strengthen this deep divine part of ourselves that understands energies, and to realize that it's not about how I feel, but we want that the Creator start to give us some signs in the right time. And simply it's just about asking for it. We can ask for it now. We can tap into it this week to have it for the whole year. That ability to know when I should be listening to something or I should be walking away. Because people are very confused by that, and they often don't know what to do. And I don't know what to do, so I have to kind of just tap in, and something tells me stay even though you're annoyed. And we want to kind of connect to that truthful divine part that understands the whole picture and sees the whole reality. Otherwise, we're just going to be robotic and walking away from things and having to repeat lessons over and over again.
Right. This week is really going to ask us to be deeper. To shut out the chatter, not only your mental chatter, but also the noise around you. I don't know, sometimes people go off into nature to meditate. Sometimes, you can close yourself in a room or turn on some music and shut out the world. But that part, we spoke a couple weeks ago about we started to speak about the monthly energy, right? We tie that usually into a piece of the show. Scorpios, we're in the month of Scorpio now, which means we're all going to be a little bit Scorpio. Mm-hmm. And Scorpions have a very strong sixth sense. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that they can also use it to strengthen their fears and strengthen their conspiracy theories. Part of this week's energy is saying, look around you. There is a network of forces that you can tap into to assist you with your spiritual work, with achieving your goals, as long as they have a positive motive, with even, I can think of many different examples. And by the way, I do want to say, for those of you that do send us emails, right? And even, if you have questions for us, if you have topics you want us to discuss, you can email us at energyboost@Kabbalah.com. I know that some people have emailed us over the past few weeks and we haven't answered their emails. That's because we want to work those questions into a show, right? So if you send us an email and we think it's going to be a globally relevant discussion, we're holding on to that for a future show. Many times the questions, first of all, they're very specific and personal, which is why they usually get emailed. But many times it's, how do I control this situation? How do I get the situation to go according to my needs or desires, or simply it's right, it's the best thing to do? What's the Kabbalistic way to make it go my way?
Sure.
And one of the messages or the teachings that Kabbalah offers us around angels and the spiritual network around us is that you don't always get what you want. Mm-hmm. But if you try sometimes, you get what you need. Mm-hmm. That's the Rolling Stones tapped into that one as well. But the idea really is that when you have those moments in your life where things unexpectedly go your way or unexpectedly don't go your way, many times that's a result of an angel, we call angelic interference. Not that it's interference, right? It's not that it's not supposed to happen. It appears to you like it's not supposed to happen. But many times when you're on a trajectory, you're going towards something and it all looks well, and something gets jammed, or, you know, there's suddenly construction on that particular path, it's not always, you know, some people say it's a bad sign. Mm-hmm. It's not always a bad sign. Many times, like David said, we may have created a negative entity, a negative force with our negative words, and that's one of the, you know, we've given a few shows already about speaking and being careful about the power of our words. Sometimes those, not sometimes, all the time, our words create energetic forces that can either help or hinder us. And sometimes when, I mean, my husband always uses the examples of travel, you know, like when you're going somewhere and there's a delay, or you're rerouted, or there's something, you know, it may look negative, but you, in that moment, you actually don't even know if it's a negative angel coming to challenge you or a positive angel coming to say, sorry, buddy, that's not the right way for you. This is the right way for you.
And let's reinforce. A negative force is something that we create through our thoughts, words, or actions. And we can be creating thousands of them in a day, and they must manifest because of the laws of cause and effect. It's a scientific concept. It's not even a spiritual one. And I made a list here of ways that we create these negative forces. Because ultimately, I think something that really excites me about spirituality is every day my goal is, how can I diminish and remove the negative forces I have and increase the positive ones? So the way you can remove negative forces, there's two main ways. There's three main ways. Number one, avoid doing them in the first place. And I'm going to give you the top 4 or 5 ways that we create negative forces. So first, to restrict even making that force, that negative force. Number 2, when you go through pain, any kind of pain, it's cleansing those forces. So when you're going through the pain, that's why we always say to embrace the pain, to not be a victim as you're going through the pain, because then you're cleansing so much negativity, and it's really powerful. But if when you're going through your pain, let's say you're physically sick, let's say you have pain in your body, let's say you're going through some kind of a breakup, let's say you're in some kind of a dispute with someone and it's bothering you, stressing you out all day long, that pain that you're going through, yes, it's annoying, but it's also cleansing you and preparing you for something powerful. But if you're a victim through the whole process, if you're sad through the whole process, if you're complaining through the whole process, if you're a victim and saying, you know, this shouldn't be happening, you're not embracing the process, you're creating as many negative forces as you're also
So I just want to clarify. I want to make sure I understood right. If I inject the consciousness that this difficult situation, this pain is cleansing me, it can cleanse me.
As soon as I acknowledge this is cleansing me and I'm happy it's here, even though I don't understand it, even though I want to solve it, the fact that it came, it means that the Creator believed that it must come.
So but if I'm just miserable, is it cleansing me?
No. So if I'm just miserable, all pain cleanses. But the fact that I'm miserable is also creating negative forces, new negative forces simultaneously. So you're kind of like they go head to head, and you're not really coming out net positive in that scenario. Because if I'm upset about what I'm going, why be upset? You're already going through it. The Creator already decided, for whatever reason, out of your control, that you must go through it. Yes, you can try to solve it, but solve it with grace, solve it with certainty, solve it with happiness. You'll actually solve it much quicker. Those people who are annoyed, frustrated, sad, depressed, and feel like they're victims, all they're doing is creating as many negative forces as they are erasing through their pain.
Last week we talked about the same situation in a different angle. We said that if you have these negative seeds that are coming at you, by reacting negatively, you're planting more negative seeds.
Exactly. Let's say people are upset with something that's happening in the environment, or something happening in politics or business or whatever it is. Instead of saying, you know, I hate this scenario, I'm going to change it. What you should say is, wow, I'm really happy this came because I know everything comes from the Creator. I'm going to change it. So instead of being hateful and trying to change it, which never works, and all the negative forces will be against you because you're creating many with that hatred, you got to say, I accept it, I love it, I understand that everything comes from the Creator.
Anyway,
but I don't believe in it.
Anyway, you're in it.
You have no choice.
You have a choice to either slide through it or kick and scream through it.
Right. And the reason why people have ulcers and panic attacks and anxiety from all this kind of stuff is because they're creating negative forces that are seeping into their body and manifesting sickness. So what we're really saying is our goal every day needs to be increase the positive, which we'll discuss how, decrease the negative, which we've already learned 2 out of 3 ways. First
By the
was
way, stay
avoid it.
tuned because at the end of the show, we're going to talk about the archangels, which I think is people always have questions. Are they real? Do they
Right.
apply, etc.? We'll talk about that.
And
at
it
the
will
end
be
of the show.
practical for all you people who just thought, I don't want to hear that. And then, so we said the second thing is going through pain gracefully with certainty and happiness. And the third thing is to proactively take responsibility for negativity you've done before the pain comes, but right after you did it. So you might reflect at the end of your day and say, you know what? I wasted my words. I told somebody about a dream I had, and I wasted 10 minutes of their time talking about a dream, and they didn't want to listen to my dream. People do that all the time. I had a dream. Can I tell you about it? Truthfully, no. I mean, it's different if they're coming to interpret the dream with us, right? But, people just talk, and they're talking for no reason. And the other person doesn't want to hear it. That's actually considered negative speech and creates negative forces. So the third way is spiritual repentance. Take responsibility for what you did, learn the lesson, commit to being different. You actually remove the negative energy.
So now that we know how to undo,
Yeah.
and maybe somebody can even write the short notes in the comments for people who go back and follow up, how do we create those positive entities?
You want to start with how you create the positive? Well, why don't we start with how do you create the negative so we can not create the negative?
All right.
Do you have some maybe you can add some positives?
No.
Okay. Well, I just wrote a couple, the big ones. The most negative forces we're creating, obviously, what do you think it is?
I don't talk about those things.
What do you mean?
I don't engage in that, so I know nothing about
That's
it.
right. I feel alone again. It's through our words. Every word creates a positive or negative force, and you think of how many words come out of your mouth. And the question is, well, what's a negative word? What's a positive word? We've talked about this on many shows. If your words are building and adding value, they're positive. And there's levels of even positive we learn from the great Kabbalists. The Ari talks about levels of positive words that reach very high levels and bring tremendous amounts of miracles. But let's just be simple, black and white. If your words build and bring value and create, they're positive. If they destroy, cause separation, hurt or harm, they create negative forces. If I'm talking to somebody and I'm upset with them and I'm telling them how upset I am, and for 5 minutes I'm telling them, and in those 5 minutes probably 1,000 words come out of my mouth, I've created 1,000 negative forces that know that I am their father. See, it says that those forces are your children. So they say, my father created me. You own me, right? So they expect you to take responsibility for them. So these 1,000 negative forces now go out into the world. They speak bad to my customers about me. They speak bad to my spouse about me. They speak bad to my kids about me. So when I'm actually going out into the world and all this chaos is happening, wondering what happened, I'm such a great guy. It has to do with 1,000 negative words I just created because I was upset.
Right.
With
You know how
somebody.
sometimes when someone wants to tell you some juicy gossip, they say it's just between us, right?
It's just between. I'm not speaking evil speech. That's how they usually say it.
No, just between you and me. This doesn't leave the room.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It does leave
It does
the room.
leave the room. And the person who hears these words also is on some level doing a short circuit. And this deserves its whole show, but I think we did talk about it. What happens if you're hearing someone speak evil speech about you? How do you protect yourself? There's many ways.
Those are shows in July. If you want to hear more about protection from evil eye, evil speech, etc., we
You
did.
remember that?
Yeah.
July? Okay. Well, so
The summer was intense.
So one of the ways to protect yourself from evil speech is to not actually you can nod your head, but you can't even really nod your head. But let's say you're nodding your head yes because you don't want to create a scene. Internally, you cannot believe what they're saying. And what I do when I hear something negative, somebody says something negative, let's say, let's say Elisheva, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe it. And two, I have to think of something
Even if
positive.
it's true, by the way.
Yeah, even if it's true.
It doesn't matter if what you're saying is true. What matters is why are you saying it?
Just what matters is the fact that you're saying it. The fact that you're saying it is you are now a creator of negative energy. Whether it's true negative energy or not doesn't mean anything.
Right.
I do not want to create. I don't want to give birth to
If
negative
you
forces.
say honestly, you're the worst person ever. It doesn't matter if you're being honest.
Absolutely. The point is, I don't want to create this energy anymore. I just don't want. I want to have a good life. Well, it's true. It's not true. I'm trying to change a wrong, make it right. All that's nonsense. You can't make any wrong right. The only way you can change it is you change it in the spiritual world by changing your energy, changing your consciousness, changing your soul that changes the destiny of mankind. Every time we try to right a wrong and we think it worked, it didn't work. Either it's going to snap back into place, or if it does seem like it's working because somebody else did some kind of energy in the upper world, not because you went and fixed it. So the words are so powerful. We have to be so careful that our words build and they don't destroy. You know, I hope that as we do our shows, we're saying a lot of words. Probably thousands of words are coming out of our mouth in these 45 minutes. Our hope is, and we pray for it, that the words build and they don't destroy. Now, what if our words are annoying someone? Is it destroying?
This is not a show about words, just a reminder.
I know,
Okay.
but
It's becoming one.
it's becoming one for now. Let's because these are questions we're getting. What if right now we're saying what we think are positive words, but it's annoying some people and it's upsetting them? Does that mean it's destructive? How would you answer that?
Yes.
You would say it is destructive.
Well, to me, it's about, if I have to vent, if I have to get something off my chest, positive or negative?
Well, I'm saying you and me right now on the show.
Oh, okay.
Right now on the show, not maybe 90% of people are liking this. 10% I'd be like, this is really upsetting me. I don't believe in this.
Okay.
The fact that they're upset, does that mean we spoke evil speech? Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, no, it does not.
And it does not. So I want to make that clear with everybody else. Sometimes you need to tell someone something from love and care or in a positive, non-reactive way that might upset them. That doesn't mean you're destroying. It actually means you could be building. As long as you care about them and you're not reactive, you're actually building. So it's not evil speech. If I reprimand my child for doing something wrong, that's not evil speech, even though he's upset. That's educating and helping him grow. But you have to make sure you're not reactive, you care, and the other person's willing to listen. Right? So this is a whole, that deserves a speech.
And we've done it already, so let's move on to the next one. How do we create negative entities?
So we talked about words. The second one is thoughts. Every time we have negative thoughts, doubts that we dwell upon, there's like a 3 or 7 second rule. Negative thoughts will come to us. That's not a bad thing. That means that they're coming to be laundered, to be cleaned. If you dwell on those thoughts and you believe in those thoughts and you act on those thoughts, then you manifest negative forces. But I have negative thoughts come to me all day, and I have to immediately transform them, send them back to their source, cleanse them. So doubts, fear, if you're worried about your future, you're creating a lot of negative forces, and that's why we know people with certainty, even if for a negative cause, people with certainty manifest. People with doubts stall and nothing manifests. Do you want to add to that? Nope. Just keep going?
Keep going.
All right. Any action in this world that causes separation or destruction is creating negative forces. So just ask yourself, is what I'm doing creating two people to fight with each other? Is what I'm doing stirring the pot? Right? I saw a post. Should I say it?
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was really funny. It said like, Jim, it says Jim is feeling argumentative. And then his post was, I think Trump is doing a pretty good job. What do you think? I thought it was a funny post. But you should see people go at each other in the comments. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong to do those posts, but we have to kind of ask ourselves, everything that we do, are we creating chaos, destruction, stirring the pot? Or are we moving people towards unity, happiness, building? You just got to think about it. We got to think about our thoughts, words, and actions before they come from us. The last one I have is, Elisheva is giving me this face, and I don't even know what this face means. I haven't seen this face in a long time. It's usually when I make...
By popular demand, the face is back.
The face, I think people are like, where's the face? I haven't seen it in a while. The fourth thing is, whenever we don't care, we do something but we don't really care, and we think there's positive forces coming from us, there's actually negative forces. So...
What's an example of that? That's a very confusing sentence.
I'll tell you. So sometimes someone might ask me for advice, and off the top of my head, intellectually, I'll know what to tell them, but I don't really care about that. So me giving that advice without
True confessions of a Kabbalah teacher.
Well, no, if I don't, I need to care. That's the thing I'm saying. I don't just naturally care about everybody, right? We need to kind of like think for a moment and connect to that.
And come from a place of caring.
At least for me. So before I give them, if I give them that advice just off the top of my head, it's actually negative, because it's the rocket booster, the thing that will make it work and build the person is the care or the empathy or that feeling that comes from you that's behind your words. So if you just say things, do things because it's a checklist, it's a to-do list, it happens in relationships all the time.
Or on social media.
Right. If you're just doing things and you're not feeling the care from it, it usually will come out bad or wrong or as a negative force. So that's my list. That's what I had. I don't know what people think about it, if they have any questions.
Well, we have a lot of questions here, mostly related to speech, which is, again, why I'd rather refer everybody back to previous shows rather than make this show about speech. Although, again, David was mentioning that the most powerful way of creating these entities, whether positive or negative, is with words. That's actually, the Kabbalists teach that at night when we go to sleep, our words elevate with our soul and prosecute or defend us, right? The negative words prosecute, the positive words defend us. And, as long as you know that what you've put out there outweighs, the positive outweighs the negative, you're okay for the day. You're in the black. I don't think any of us consciously want to say, I want to create more negativity. Maybe not for ourselves, but for others. If you're trying to create negativity for other people, if you're trying to get back, if you have thoughts of revenge, of deception, of trying to be the judge of the universe, trying to execute sentencing on behalf of the universe, it's important to know that you're actually creating those judgments on yourself.
Exactly. Most people aren't trying to hurt or destroy. It's just that they have a belief system that what I'm doing is helping. And what Kabbalah teaches so powerfully is we start to see really what's going on. It kind of removes the curtains. I see people like by the second or third class of Kabbalah 1 saying, wait, hold on. For the last 30, 40, 50 years, what I thought was bringing me closer to love is taking me farther away. What I thought is helping me in my marriage is actually destroying my marriage. What I thought is going to help me build financial sustenance is actually the thing that's leaking sustenance from my life. It's a mind-blowing concept, because people are starting to see that there's a behind the scenes of what's happening. It's not just what I think is right or wrong. Right. So we're getting a lot of great questions here. I don't know if you see the same thing on your feed, but for example, someone just wrote me, somebody said something nice, that they think your face is actually comforting and maternal. I thought that was nice.
I'm glad you think that's nice. I think, this week.
How can we learn more about laundering those thoughts of doubt? So the doubts come. I mentioned it. Do you want to throw out a solution? The doubt comes. How can we because it comes to everybody. Give them a tool to transform that darkness to light.
Well, my mantra, I don't know if you can say it's a mantra, but I'm always reflecting in this way, and I've shared this before on the show probably 100 times. Is it my soul talking? That's usually the question I ask myself. My soul, your soul, all of our souls are connected to the mothership, right? The creator. Kabbalah teaches that every person has a spark of the light force within them. And my soul, and your soul, likewise, would never put anybody down, put you down, say anything demeaning, degrading, negative, right? Now, will your soul let you walk headfirst into a negative situation? No, but the way that your soul will present you the perspective that this may be negative will not include four-letter words, will not be putting the other person down. It will be, this situation is beneath you. This person can't handle your energy. It won't be, this person's an idiot, this person is a sucker, right? Your soul isn't the voice on the street. It is your higher self. So when a doubt comes to you, the question, is this my soul? Am I being the cause right now? Or am I being the effect? You
have that conversation with yourself exactly when the doubt comes. People need if they have 5 seconds before that doubt just takes them.
So I'm asking myself, is that one second, is that coming from my soul? And the answer most of the time is no, right? That my soul doesn't doubt a thing. My soul knows that even if I'm in a difficult position right now, it's for my best.
So what do you do after I answer that question? That's very good. So what's the second thing you do to make it not affect you anymore?
I feel like I'm in an exam. right? Am I going to get a
The
certificate?
people want to know.
The people want to know. So after I am clear that it's my soul, I actually try to think of what good, right? I get to determine that this doubt results in good and not negative, not bad.
Yes.
So
I usually have a mantra at that moment that says, I have certainty about my future. And I just try to have that mantra drown out the doubt. That's what works for me. I have certainty. I want to hold on to certainty. I pray. I start to ask the Creator, give me certainty to transform this doubt. So my voice has to be louder than the doubt, and then I feel the transformation. You got to have a mantra.
For me, again, it's more, why is this coming to me right now? What can I do with it? Mm-hmm. So if it's about me personally, I know that for my personal tikkun, I have a certain mission to rewrite that doubt. If it's about someone else, or if it's about a situation, I am, my work, and I hope it's everybody's work, but you're asking me what do I do with it, is I know that whatever's coming at me is for my greater good, and it's like a video game, a puzzle. I got to solve it. Why is this coming to me right now?
That's beautiful. It's really just about being positive, and the more positive you can be all the time about your future, about what's happening to you, without going into why and beating yourself up and reprimanding yourself and reprimanding the world, that's what's going to transform the darkness and the doubt. And a big secret that I learned from a teacher about 10 years ago, we said when a negative thought comes, visualize you send it back to the light, because that's where the source of it is, right? The light is the source. The light of the Creator is the source. You send it back to the light, and it goes back to its pure state. And it's a visualization. People who are visual, that's something that I like to do. Take it back to the source of the light. And actually what came to me is a very powerful secret, because we know the negative forces are most around lust, right? Lust and sex, that's where they get their biggest negative energy, and it attacks people. And I had a guy recently actually tell me, and this is good, I'm going to tell a very powerful secret that I learned many years ago. It's very effective. It's a very effective secret to overcome lust or negative thoughts. I'm getting the face. We're recording this. I'm getting the face. Soon I'm going to get. He
wants to make sure he's not on camera right now.
Soon I'm going to get the kick to the shin. The kick to the shin. But it's very powerful, especially for guys or girls who struggle with this. If you have thoughts, if desires, the passion overcomes you and it's not appropriate, if you're in a long-term committed relationship or not, and these energies are affecting you, these negative forces are very strong in this area. And everybody has them. Everybody has these thoughts. They come because they want your light. So something my teacher taught me, really effective, is when you see, let's say, a beautiful woman or a man or whatever that's trying to, hijack your consciousness. My teacher told me, this person eventually is going to die. And they're going to be a corpse. And the light is going to leave them. Are you attracted to the corpse? So he said, visualize, because what you're really attracted to is not the person. It's the light in the person. That's what's attractive. That's the energy that you feel sexually attracted to.
Okay.
Right? So he said, all you have to do is realize that one day this person's going to die, like everybody. And the light that you love and you feel strongly attracted to is going to leave. And there's going to be a corpse. So why are you attracted to this person? Now go after the light, the source of what you're attracted to. It's very powerful because when we get into the lust, we forget about spirituality, we forget about the light, we forget about all the things we're trying to achieve with our soul. We just want that instant gratification. So this is very, very, very powerful. When someone is in your realm that is tempting you with lust or sexual energy that is not appropriate, visualize them as a corpse and realize that what you really want is the light of the Creator, and then you'll be right back on the path. It's a very powerful. One time I told this to a guy, and he said, "Wow, that's so powerful. I don't think I want to use it," because part of it is he still wanted to, enjoy.
You heard it here first, folks. Exposing Kabbalistic secrets.
Sometimes we need a pattern interruption for our audience. I'm not getting in those fluttery hearts and likes anymore either. So
I think everybody's sweating and opening up a window right now. What I want to make sure you guys go into the world with today. It doesn't matter if you're listening on Monday or Friday.
I'm going to get a lot of emails from men and women saying, you know what, thank you. I didn't want to post it, but thank you.
Thank you, David. Yeah. Okay. I want to share with you a little bit about that. David, most of the show already, we focused on what David was saying is the energetic forces that we create that are called angels.
Yep.
There is also a network, a system of angels that have been woven into the universe. And again, the universe is not three-dimensional, it's 10-dimensional. So there's many levels and many frequencies on which the spiritual energy flows, or I don't know if it's a point or a wave, but it flows. And that, the best metaphor I can give you, and we might have to repeat it again and again and again and again, is that according to Kabbalah, angels are not as David said, they have missions. They're not actually causations, or they're not in control, right? They don't have free will like we as humans do. However, and this is I'm borrowing it from my husband. The best way
Your
to
husband
illustrate
this is his specialty.
This is his
That's
specialty,
right.
and I have been learning a lot about angels in the last year or so. That very exciting stuff. Imagine that you order. This is going to relate to David. David's going to resonate with this one.
Please.
You order a pizza to be delivered to your home.
Okay.
It is the best pizza you have ever eaten. You take a bite. It's fabulous. Do you run? You go chase down the delivery guy and thank him? Who made the pizza?
That's right. That's a great analogy.
Angels are the delivery guy. Angel or girl. Angels are the Postmates of the universe. Angels are not, they're simply helping us get access to the pizza of the Creator. And so we have to remember who makes the pizza, right? This whole idea, that it's, again, Kabbalah isn't unique in that you can ask for help from this particular angel. And that's what I want to share, is that there's certain angels that can help us in certain situations. It's not that because I asked the archangel Raphael to heal so-and-so that person was healed. It's because of the light force of the Creator.
Sure.
That particular angel that helped was simply the delivery system that helped to make sure that the pizza got to our house within 30 minutes or less. Everybody got it? Okay. So you can ask for their assistance in any situation. There are certain angels, and I'm going to mention 4, or I wrote down the top 4 delivery agents. There are infinite ones. And so if this is a field that you are interested in, by the way, Kabbalah teaches that we each have our own guardian angel, that there are angels that rule over every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month. There are angels that are in control of there is a whole, right? The Zohar says that there isn't a blade of grass that doesn't blow in the wind without its angel telling it to blow, to move. So we need to understand that every entity in the universe has its own angel that's helping it move, execute.
So somebody
its
just
mission.
asked the question. So then, shouldn't you be talking to the Creator, not the angels?
100%, 100%. But this is a question that one of the teachers asked. Right? Would you rather play a football game by yourself, or would you rather have teammates?
Okay, explain.
No, can you run? How many yards are on a football field?
100.
100. Would you rather run 100 yards by yourself, or would you rather have teammates? Would you rather have a quarterback? Would you rather have a punter? Would you rather have a fullback? You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying the goal is the same, which is the Creator,
Right.
But we have forces and teammates around us to
Right.
help us play the game.
Absolutely. That's what we've spoken in different shows about. You can ask for, every so often there's a death anniversary of a righteous soul. We ask for their help. Same idea. They can also be a player on the team.
And the more you know about the structure of all the energies will help you connect to the ultimate source of the Creator.
Right. So the reason I'm pointing it out is because you could be obsessed with, how can I get my pizza with the right delivery guy, right? It's about who makes the pizza, right? Who delivers it. It's not necessarily important to the quality of the pizza. I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. Do you want to do your spiritual work alone, or do you want support? Do you want assistance?
So what's the practical takeaway for our audience? It's fascinating content. What do you want to tell them?
Okay, so I'm going to throw out 4 different, and okay, I'm going to throw out
how are they going to use these 4 forces?
I'm going to tell you, right? If you need help with sharing, giving, coming from an elevated space, being unconditional, seeing the good, what we call right column, positive. If it's hard for you to garner that kind of energy,
To share, to build, to care.
right? You ask for the angel Michael to help you.
Okay.
Michael, Michael, however you want to say it. Someone saying, I want pizza. Yes. I want pizza too. The angel Michael, again, not doing the work for us, but holding us up, giving us a boost,
Nice.
helping us slide through to the end zone.
Nice,
Okay?
nice.
If you need help being stronger, being more courageous, fighting for what's important, for what's good, for what you know, not what's right, justice.
Being able to set boundaries, being able to say no when it's the right thing to do.
Exactly. That's Gabriel.
Not being a people pleaser. That's Gabriel.
Gabriel. So Gabriel is the coach on the sideline who's going to help you score that winning goal when you need to set those boundaries, when you need to show someone tough love, right? And it's the hardest thing for you, or you need to confront. Gabriel is your man, or your angel. I shouldn't say it's a man.
And before you continue, just to thank everyone for the comments and questions and the sharing. You're helping us grow our audience. And if this is powerful for you, every week we're getting new people coming on saying, wow, I never heard about this. And then they're studying Kabbalah. You never know who's going to get it. If you can share, comment, like our post to help us broaden our audience, we're more people than ever. We appreciate it.
And if you're listening to the podcast, you can rate and review us and help us.
That's right. We're really growing on the podcast and Spotify as well.
Yeah.
All right, continue with the third and fourth angel.
The third one is if you need help, and David used this word without explaining it, which I thought was unusual. If you need help with restricting, with letting go, with detaching, with being more balanced in a decision, in a relationship, in handling a challenge, Uriel is the angel. And the I think that we all, the funny thing is we all need Uriel.
Mm-hmm.
Uriel. Because that, I don't think there's anybody that doesn't have trouble being balanced, right? We always tend to be
100%.
either pushovers, and we may fluctuate in different situations. At work, I'm a pushover, but at home, I'm a taskmaster, right?
Not to be extreme, not to go to extremes all the time.
So that's why he is also very helpful. And by the way, somebody's asking, where is it? Is the archangel Michael helping us in career? He can help you in your career if you need that strengthening, if you need the assistance with the sharing, the being unconditional, the seeing the good, all of that. If that's where you need the extra support, he can help you in your career, but not necessarily only him helping you in your career. And the last one, of course, is Raphael, who is classically known for his healing abilities, but he can also help with manifestation. Manifestation, I think, is really big for a lot of people. You have a lot of big ideas. You have a lot of good intentions. How do you bring it down to a level of manifestation? Your wingman in that moment, Raphael. And someone else was asking, is there a way to find out who your guardian angel is or who your personal angels are? There is a way. We have different teachers in each center who can do a actually personal angel session if that's something that you're interested in.
Really? We have that?
Yeah. You can email us, of course. We can send you the link, Energy Boost.
I'm not setting this up. I generally don't know. Who is it who your colleagues, who you work with in student
Rachel
support?
Santo, but we have different teachers.
Nice.
The reason I'm saying it around the world, because if you're in Europe, we have a teacher who can help you that's local in Europe. If you're in Israel,
very nice.
So you can reach out for us. This is something that I didn't know very much about earlier on in my Kabbalah studies, and the more I learn about it, the more I find I use the word slide because any way you're going in that direction, you can have the assistance to make the process easier. And so part of that, remembering I could go to the pizza restaurant and sit in the restaurant and order, or I could have the delivery right to my house. That idea that, yes, it would be easier if I could have the delivery right to my house. Anyway, this is a subject I love to talk about. I love to share about. If you know me personally, you can ask me more about it personally, or, I'd be happy to share more resources with you if it is something that you're more interested in. The real reason we're sharing it this week, and it's important to remember, this is the weekly energy boost. There is much more support from the universe this week to tap into those pathways.
And someone's asking, how do I actually communicate with them? What's the practical? Just call the name, meditate on their name, ask. What would you say?
So there's two things that I would recommend. One is asking, simply just saying, please, Angel Uriel,
in whatever
help me with
language, in your
whatever
own
language
language,
that you speak, that you're comfortable with. However, the name stays the same, right? It's not like Miguel or, another one. I don't know how you would.
Miguel.
Rafi. You wouldn't say Rafi. You would say Raphael.
Got it.
Another very powerful technology, and we've spoken about this in different ways in different shows, is the visualization, right? Using the Hebrew letters as a visual mantra, that if you can get these names, and this is something I'm sure you can Google, looking at those names without even saying them, visualizing them, those frequencies, those images help to awaken their support and their connection. I know people that have their personal angels, for example, on a chart so that they can scan them during the day.
I have that. Yeah, I scan
I'm
it
saying
every day,
that's something that for me, it's a little extra assistance, a little extra.
Very nice.
It's greasing the pan, right? You want to be able to eat the cake as quickly as possible, grease the pan with some angels. The whole idea this week is to be more open to that support. So whether you're calling in you're calling in for more assistance from your guardian angel, you may even call from assistance from, people in your family that have left the physical reality that you need assistance from. I know for me, I have a stronger connection to certain Kabbalists in our lineage than others, and I ask for their help. It's the same idea that we are not meant. Life is a team sport. And that's something that I don't think we say enough. Each one of us has our own skill set, which is not only our gifts and our talents, but it's also our challenges. And our challenges are part of our skill set. There is a unique light that only I can reveal, and I reveal that through transformation.
Very nice.
The amazing thing is to be able to recognize that the people around me, the souls around me, the angels around me, the environment is a part of that perfect plan for my soul's growth.
And what I want to add to that is, many times we learn nice concept and go, that's really a nice concept. I think it's so important to always take whatever we're learning here, especially on this show, and manifest it into practical happiness and fulfillment in your life. Sometimes you meet these people who always have chaos. It's like no matter, they're good people, but it's like everything always goes wrong. This always falls apart at the last second. They're always upset with someone or someone's upset with them. It's like they always have this drama in their life. And you're wondering, what is it? There's something that they are doing, or it's us. It could be us. There's something that we're doing that's creating these negative forces. And we're not practically using the tools that we learned today that Elisheva just shared. You got to just make that switch. Get out of the negative zone. If the majority of your day is filled with negativity and drama, it's because we have a leak and we are creating these negative forces. And we're not using the positive ones in the right way. We're not using these archangels in the right way. Our consciousness is just in the wrong place. And that's why we keep attracting
By the way,
situations
that's
of lack.
okay. David's not putting you in timeout when he says that we all go there, right?
Oh,
that's
yeah, totally.
that's the key.
Totally.
The whole point of this show is we go there, you go there. Maybe together we can figure out ways to be there less and stay out of there more.
When I'm hitting a lot of red lights, I know I got a leak. I got to change my consciousness. I got to change my words. Something is not right. If I'm hitting all these red lights and I'm having a lot of chaos, I need to change something. So I think that's a really powerful message for this week.
Absolutely. Open your eyes, pay attention to the support and the signs around you. One of those support systems is this show. So if you are enjoying, benefiting, please let us know. Share the show. As I mentioned before, we want to hear from you. What do you want to hear more about? What challenges are you facing? What topics do you want to hear us discuss? You can email those to energyboost@kabbalah.com, or you can put them in the comments. Happy anniversary to us. Today is our 2-year anniversary. We're going to go out for pizza after the show. Just kidding. David doesn't eat pizza. And we will see you next week on the Weekly Energy Boost.